Well, when we speak about the politics of the Republic of Kenya, we refer to the Mount Kenya region as the people with the largest number of votes. But the second in the number of votes is the Luhya nation and the Mulembe nation. But these people, for the longest time, they have been out of power and they have not had a real representative. But after the 2022 general election, a son was born through one Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya, the leader of the Tawe movement. Since the year 2002, when Kijana Wamalwa was elected alongside Mwai Kibaki as his vice president, nobody has ever had a mass following than that which we have witnessed with George Natembeya. But President William Ruto is a man that is on the verge of trying to divide every function that seems to unite against his cause, which is to be re-elected as the President of the Republic of Kenya for the second term come the year 2027. As we speak currently, a case has been brought up where allegations have been piled and the investigative bodies in the country have been given an order to investigate the disappearance of about 70 million and 90 million Kenyan shillings, which the allegations are being laid upon one Governor George Natembeya, where they are saying that he has misappropriated the said money which was meant for drugs, which was meant to buy medicine for the people in the hospital. But we all know when we come to speak about the most hardworking governors that we have in the country, according to the results and the information that we got from Infotruck, Governor George Natembeya comes second after the Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata, which means it is just a wild chase where they are trying to discredit and ruin the reputation of a man that has proved to be a force to reckon against President William Ruto and other leaders of the Western Mulembe nation who have been benefiting and feeding their tummies with the claims that they represent the people of the western part of Kenya. Now, George Natembeya Tawe movement is one force to reckon. It's a force that can't be stopped right now. But there is a strategy that President William Ruto deploys, a strategy of divide and rule. When he impeached Rigathi Gachagua, a very unpopular man then in the Mount Kenya region, he made him a kingpin. He made him become a force in the mountain. And Rigathi Gachagua tore down President William Ruto in the Mount Kenya region. But for the president to have a say in the mountain, it is said that he approached one Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata and the current Member of Parliament of Kiharu, Didi Nyoro, knowing that these people are the most hardworking leaders that we have in the Republic and in the Mount Kenya region. He knows that the people wouldn't steer away from supporting them to supporting the Rigathi Gachagua, a man that was impeached. So which means through Irungu Kang'ata and one Didi Nyoro, he will divide the mountain, and he is meant to divide the mountain ahead of the 2027 general election. When you look in the western part of Kenya, currently Musalia Mudavadi has no say. Currently Wycliffe Oparanya has no say. Currently one Moses Wetangula has very little influence in his home county, Bungoma County. When you go to Busia, one Senator Okiya Omtata is a force to reckon also. But these people have not been speaking in a unification voice. Only one George Natembeya has been, and a certain member of parliament, a one-term member of parliament, who has been on the forefront, fighting against William Ruto, fighting against the Azimio la Umoja coalition, fighting against Raila Amolo Odinga, and he is currently amassing a large number of following, also being one of the most hardworking members of parliament in the western part of Kenya, and that is none other than Peter Salasya. So to make sure that George Natembeya's Tawe movement is divided and the people of the Mulembe nation are confused on what path to take or who to follow, he has, you might disagree with me in this, but I have intel that President William Ruto is currently using Peter Salasya. He is meant to fund Peter Salasya to become to start his campaign as the kingpin of the western region of Kenya, which we all know this region has been united behind one George Natembeya from Trans Nzoia. But imagine this man, Peter Salasya, who is at the center of the Mulembe nation. Trans Nzoia County borders some other counties which are the Rift Valley counties. And more so, they refer to Trans Nzoia as not, mostly as not part of the Mulembe nation, because the county is mostly populated with Kalenjins, Kikuyus, and Luyas. But when you go to Bungoma, Kakamega, Busia, these are counties, Vihiga, these are counties that are largely populated with the Mulembe nation. 95% of the people that live there are Luyas. So if a candidate is to come from these counties, then that candidate will win against George Natembeya, because they refer George Natembeya to as the forgotten son. As the prodigal son, a man that they can't trust fully, because he rules a county that is not predominantly populated with the Mulembe nation votes. Are we together? And that is why the other day, there is something that one man by the name of Peter Salasya has declared that caught my attention. Peter Salasya went ahead to declare that he will be having a tour in the western part of Kenya, and he said, Honorable Peter Salasya Western Tour, he will be in Busia, Kakamega, Vihiga, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia. Starting Friday 11th April, looking for young vibrant leaders in Western to join the movement. He is not saying that he is a representative of the Tawe movement. He wants to begin his own movement in the western part of Kenya. And he knows, Ruto knows, if he uses such young leaders, then the Mulembe nation votes might be divided. And if the Mulembe nation votes might be divided, and they fail to follow George Natembeya to the opposition, then if they are divided and the Kikuyus are divided, what will stop William Ruto from winning his second term as the president of the Republic of Kenya? I want to read a few reactions from Kenyans in regards to this tour by Peter Salasya. I see one Mike Magera saying, hizi pesa za Kapseret Waluya wetu mkule bila huruma. Kingpin wetu ni mmoja, George Natembeya. This time kuletewa vibaraka hatutaki. A person who can talk continuous English for just 10 seconds anakuja kuwa kingpin wa nani hapa Western. Now, that was a picture of Peter Salasya's the said movement that is going, he is said to be beginning. Now, when you look at it, you will all come to agree with me that if Peter Salasya and George Natembeya start fighting for supremacy in the Mulembe nation, then President William Ruto will be so happy. Gachagua fighting with Didi Nyoro for supremacy in the Mount Kenya region. When it comes to the election of the year 2027, President William Ruto will go for a vacation and come to be sworn in as the president, because tell me how you will beat this man with divided functions of the two most popular regions in the Republic of Kenya. You can't. But if George Natembeya and Peter Salasya unite, and Rigathi Gachagua and Didi Nyoro unite, these two communities and bringing in other regions who believe in opposing the current government, then President William Ruto will surely go home. But it's upon them to decide. Tell me what you think about this analysis. Leave your comment in the comment section. See you in our next video. Subscribe.